Hi Onir, welcome in Florence for River to River. You are going to show your movies this night. I'm Onir.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here in Florence. Tonight will be the Italian premiere of my film I Am, and I'm quite excited about it. I Am is a film which has 4 stories which are interlinked to one another. Very special because of the way this film has been made. It's perhaps the first film in India where mainstream Bollywood film, in a way, has been made through social networking, financed through social networking, where more than 400 people from 35 cities across the world have put in finance or volunteered to work for the film, and that's how this film has been made. There are 4 stories in the film. The first story is a story called I'm Afia, which is about a single woman wanting to be a mother and about sperm donation. The second one is called I'm Megha, which is a story about a Kashmiri Pandit woman, Hindu woman, going back to Kashmir after 20 years of the exodus of the Hindus from the Kashmir Valley. And it's a film about loss of home, loss of identity. And there she meets her best friend, who is a Kashmiri Muslim girl. And like any situations of conflict, women are the most hit, and there is this woman who is stagnating there. The third story is a story called I'm Abhimanyu, which is the story of a child sexual abuse survivor. And the last story in the series is called I'm Omar, which is about how the police uses the Article 377, which is a law that criminalizes homosexuality in India, to harass and blackmail gay men.
You started your career as a filmmaker very young, and it was your whole life passion. So tell us something about your career in filmmaking.
I'm actually from a very, very small city town from a very small country called Bhutan, where I grew up, and the city had one cinema hall, and my mother used to drag me every Friday because she loved movies, and I think I inherited from her the love of movies. And I think my earliest memories is when I had seen this very old version of David Copperfield, and I remember that the image of that film stayed with me for long enough, and I didn't know consciously, but deep inside I knew that, okay, I want to be a part of this image making. And when I finished my schooling in Bhutan, I came to India and I started doing literature. At the same time, I was attending film clubs, film studies, and my only dream was how to make my own film, though I didn't know how I would get about, because I came from a very middle class family and with nobody in films. And in India, films are largely run by the Bollywood families, you know, that it's all like a family business. And fortunately I got a scholarship to learn film editing in Berlin, where I came. And it's a series of coincidences that has led me to be able to learn the craft. And then I went back to Bombay, and it took me 10 years, but I knew that it would take so much time to make my first film, because I was very sure that I wanted to make the film that I want to make and not just make any mainstream film. I like to make films which is differentiated, which is not an absolute mainstream Bollywood film, but at the same time it uses the language of Indian cinema, like music, songs, but in a very different way.
Which are other filmmaker or films that have left something special in your life and in your life as a filmmaker?
I think initially there were 3 films which, again, during my growing up years, the images stayed with me. One is a film by a Indian filmmaker called Shyam Benegal, and it was a film called Junoon. And it just, you know, the images from that film again stayed with me very strongly. And then I remember when I was in class 10, I came to Kolkata for a film festival. I was there for a holiday and I attended a film festival where 2 films, again, which reaffirmed my desire to get into films. One was by a filmmaker, Satyajit Ray, a very famous Indian filmmaker, whose film Charulata just fascinated me. You know, it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is it, you know. And then there was another film which I really loved was French Lieutenant's Woman. So these two films were vital. But once I started college, when I was attending film clubs and all, I think one person who left a lot of influence on me and I admire a lot as a filmmaker is Buñuel. It was like Belle de Jour, and, Obscure Object of Desire, Phantom of Liberty. I think I just love the way he combines almost like magic, and his whole way of looking at society. It just, I think left a very strong impression on me.
So it's your first time in Florence. How was your experience here and at the festival?
When I reached Florence, I reached here, I think I reached my hotel at 10 o'clock, and by 10:30 I think I was out in the streets, because I thought that, oh my God, I'm just here for 3 days, and every corner, where I turned, all I could see is beauty. And I felt that I was totally immersed in beauty, in history, and I just realized that 3 days was not enough, because there was so much of stories in each house, in each town square that I saw, that I'm like totally overwhelmed by the beauty of the city, and I'm so glad that I've come here.